Welcome to the Kingdom Hairstylist Podcast. This is your host, Billie Jean. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kingdom Hairstylist Podcast. This is your host. My name is Billie Jean, and I am excited to be back this week to give you guys an update and to give you guys an updated episode. So I hope that you guys are doing all right. I pray that you all are well. I pray that everybody is healthy still. I pray that you guys are doing everything in your power to boost your immune system, taking your vitamins, and just staying safe as much as you possibly can. That is all that is required of us, is to try our best to stay as safe as possible, but not to live in fear, but just to be safe. So, with that being said, I am praying for you all. I always pray for y'all, and I am definitely taking care of myself and making sure that I stay safe and that I take my vitamins and boost my immune system, and I don't live in fear. I'm not scared of COVID. And if I were to get it, I know that God will pull me through and see me through. So I'm definitely not going to walk around here in fear. So the quick update that I wanted to give you all was that I'm in a new season. I'm in a very, very, very interesting season. And the season is interesting because I am literally at the feet of Jesus. And I know that that's not anything strange or unusual for me, because I'm always going deeper with God. But it's an update. That's why I've been pretty quiet. I had started doing really well on social media. I was engaging. I was interacting. I was so proud of myself. I was putting out my little lives every day. I was putting up my post. And then all of a sudden, I had to go deeper with God, so I stopped. One thing about me, I always make a joke and say is that I can't do two things at once. And I really feel like that. Like if I'm talking to you, I can't send a text message at the same time. Like I can either send a text message or I can talk. I can't walk and be on my phone. I'm very clumsy. I drop stuff. I bump into stuff. I cannot post every day regularly and be at the feet of Jesus. It's just I can't do both. So something is going to lack. I'm going to give my attention to one more than the other. So I'm trying to find balance. Balance is the key to what I've been doing. So the title of this episode is Discerning the Season I Am In. It was important for me to do this episode because I wanted to let you all know that we will go through different seasons. And I know that you all have experienced that yourself a time or two where you just don't even know what season you're in. It's like a very happy season for you and everything's going great, and it's just like you're elevating and God is blessing you tremendously, and like everything's going good in your family and everything's going well in your business, everything's going well at your job. Like it's just good. Everything is good. And then you might have a season where like everything is just so hard and you can't just figure out why. You just in a sad season, or you just don't feel good, or you're trying to figure things out, or you're in the season, in the wilderness season where you just out there, you just out there and everything is just questions. You're just trying to figure out your life and trying to get things on track. So the season I am is that I'm in a season where I am seeking God like never before. Like I'm going hard for Him. I am reading the word. I'm praying scriptures over my life. I am just trying to seek Him like I've never sought after Him before. And it's a good feeling. I prayed for this. I prayed to be deeper with Him. I prayed for more intimacy with our Father. I prayed for new strategies, new instructions. I prayed for my after, because I don't want to do hair forever. So I've been praying to figure out what's next for me. So yeah, that's just the season that I am in, and it is definitely interesting. It's definitely interesting. So I don't know if you all know the story of Martha and Mary in Luke, but it comes out of Luke 10, verses 38 through 42, and I'm gonna read it real quick. As Jesus and the disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. Her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet, listening to what he taught. But Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She came to Jesus and said, "Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits here while I do all the work? Tell her to come and help me." But the Lord said to her, "My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over all the details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her." That story is where I'm at. I am the Mary in that situation. I have already spent so much time worrying about all the details and focusing on my life and what I need to change and what needs to be better. Focusing in my marriage, trying to be the best wife I can be, trying to be the best mother I can be, trying to get my kids to do what I want them to do, trying to get my husband to do what I want him to do, trying to get the business to grow, trying to get more clients, trying to get more money. Like, I've been trying to do all these things like Martha. I was running around like Martha in a season where I was just so focused on all the details. Like, instead of focusing on God and focusing and letting him know that he is God and I am not. And I don't know how many times I had to go through that same Martha season for me to understand that it's time for me to be Mary. It's time for me to sit at Jesus' feet. And so that is the season that I am. I'm so glad that I was able to discern that it's time to make a switch. Because, God wants us to focus on him. He wants us to lay our burdens at his feet. And he wants to be our Father. He wants to be God. He wants to be El Shaddai. He wants to be God Almighty. And it's hard when we think that we can worry about all the details. It's hard when we think we can be in control of whatever our lives, whatever we have going on in our lives. We can't always control every single aspect of our lives. So, in that story, Martha was so worried about trying to make sure the house was clean. She was trying to prepare the food for Jesus. She was trying to make a good impression on Jesus. She was frustrated and irritated. She just wanted her sister to help her. And in other words, she thought her sister was being lazy, basically. When she complained to Jesus, Jesus was like, "Look, basically, you so busy worrying about all these other things when really you should be soaking up my presence. You should be in my presence, enjoying the fact that I am here. Like, I could care less about that food. I love when you all are in communion with me, when you all are in fellowship with me, when y'all are sitting there taking a step back from your day and just coming to talk to me and just being real with me and being honest with me and just letting me know what's going on in your life. Like, I love that intimacy that you give me. I could care less about you running around here trying to do all these things to impress me. I could care less about you trying to fix everything. Like, just come spend time with me." And once I read that story again, because of course I've read it before, I knew all about the story. But when you sit with it, when you actually break it down, when you actually read and think about the scene, like how it probably was, like it probably was hard to even just live with Martha because she probably was doing too much. She probably was running around, just doing too much. And Mary probably was like, "Look, I'm going to take this opportunity to sit at the feet of Jesus. I'm going to take this opportunity to spend time with him because I'll never get another opportunity like this." So I'm trying to be in this season so that I can soak up God's presence, so I can soak up Jesus' presence, so that I can get what all that he has for me. Because when we stay so busy, it's hard to hear from God. It's hard to position yourself to hear the next instructions. It's hard to position yourself to even know what Jesus wants you to do. There are times where you should rest. There are times when you just need to rest. Your body needs it. One week I woke up like every day and I was just so exhausted, like just tired. And I felt like my body was just like my neck and shoulders and everything was just so tense. And, I was sitting with God and he was explaining to me that I need to rest. Like, I need to take time to rest, and that I was like, throughout the night, I was warring and didn't even know it. Like, just fighting, in my sleep. And so what I started doing now is I anoint my head before I go to bed, and just say to myself that I'm going to get sweet sleep, and that I'm not going to wake up exhausted, that I'll have God dreams and God visions, and I'll have a mind like Christ. I never knew how important it was to anoint yourself. I never knew how important it was to cover yourself, because a lot of times, we as people or as Christians, we don't realize that the devil is real. Like, he is really, really real. Like, he is seriously real. And if you allow him any opportunities to come in and destroy anything, because that's what he was sent to do, steal, kill, and destroy. If you allow any open space, if you don't cover yourself, if you don't anoint your head, if you don't just pray, if you don't, worship God and do all the things that you're supposed to do daily, you will allow him to have access to you. And whenever he gets in, he ain't nothing but a destructive piece of mess. And he will come in and he will destroy your sleep. He will destroy your life. He will destroy your marriage. He'll destroy your family. He'll do whatever he wants to do if you allow him access. So now that I realize that God wanted us to put that armor on that he talks about in Ephesians, it's serious. You know what I mean? Like, this is a real life war, a real life battle that we have constantly with Satan, because he's always trying to win, So I had to discern what season I was in. I had to do something different, because I don't want to be God. I can't be God. I don't even fit the mold of God. Like, I don't even begin to compare with God. So I know that. And so now I'm taking a step back. And ever since I've done that, man, I feel so much better. There's a peace that I can't even explain. There is a a love for God that I never knew that I had. It's a good feeling. Like, my worship is different. The way that I speak is different. Everything about me has changed ever since I've started to sit at the feet of Jesus. So I'm going to put one of my favorite songs that you can listen to and worship Jesus to in the show notes, and you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. So take some time to listen to that song. When I listen to that song, it takes me to a whole nother place. I don't even feel like I'm here anymore. So when we sit at the feet of Jesus, he refills us and gives us new strength, new strategies. He gives us rest. We don't have to perform for him. Like, he really just wants to spend time with us. And he's delighted. I mean, like, delighted, like so happy when we just rest in him, because it allows him to know that we humble ourselves before him, and that we really respect him, and that we love him, and that we honor him, and that we trust him. So he's delighted when we do that. This new season is just a great place to rest in and to be in God's presence. So a lot of times I'm practical. I like to break things down. So what I feel like sitting at the feet of Jesus is like literally getting on your knees or sitting on the floor facing the wall and playing worship music and imagining yourself sitting literally at Jesus' feet. And that's all it is, practically just sitting at his feet. I mean, some people bow at his feet. You know, you could be bowing in a bowing position, and you're just sitting there and you're spending uninterrupted time with God. And it's not a rush. You don't have to rush to get out the door. Like, you got to do it at a time in a day where it's convenient for you and Jesus. And you can't rush it. You gotta sit there and really spend time with him. Don't try to do it. Okay, I got 10 minutes before I go to work. Okay, let me sit here. Because your mind is going to be on leaving out the door. Your mind is going to be that you got somewhere to be. Do it when you don't have nowhere to be. Do it at night if that's the better time for you. Once you get home and you settle down and you've done everything. You've cooked, you've cleaned, you've fed the kids, you've done homework with them, you have washed all your clothes, whatever the case may be. Go somewhere in your house and create an altar for God. Like, sit before him, and it's going to change your life. It really, really is. And y'all can let me know, and in my inbox, in the DM, or however, email, however you want to let me know. But just let me know how it changed your life.